ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. And
All
so
right.
just
Well, it's
wanted
a little after 5, so we should probably get started. I see we got some more people on the call, which is great.
okay.
So welcome to our pickled beets holiday cooking demo. And this is the first of what we hope to be a large series of cooking demos that we're going to run through Zoom through the winter. And hopefully, fingers crossed, in the spring, we can start doing these in person inside the garden. So a little bit of housekeeping. You don't have to stay muted. You don't have to keep your video off. If you're cooking alongside and you want to share and you want other people to see what you're doing, you're welcome to keep it on, but you can also turn it off as well. And then there is a chat box and you can ask questions. So let me just type in the chat box here. So that's the chat box, and feel free to type things, ask questions. I can see both of them, so I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. So getting started, my name is Julie Palmer, and I'm a registered dietitian with Dietitian in Your Kitchen. So it's a small private practice. I see clients one-on-one for nutritional counseling. And I've also partnered with Southside Family Farms to do some nutrition education. So Minister Aaron is the owner of Southside Family Farms. He's on our call. I'm going to let him introduce himself and talk a little bit about the farm. Go ahead, take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to be out this afternoon with Miss Julie, our dietitian in the kitchen, and just to have this wonderful relationship and even being out cooking today. And so I'm Minister Aaron Hopkins, kind of the visionary and farm originator of Southside Family Farms. We are in a big expansion project right now where we've got 2 acres out in the Johnstown area where we're trying to expand our capacity and doing a seedling operation. And so we're really addressing here on the South Side fresh food access and some of the food insecurities here, and trying to do a lot of educational cooking habits is a primary goal of ours, and connecting with our seniors and making sure they're eating healthy to address any dietary things in their, as we get older, we got some different issues and we have to watch how we eat. And so we're just glad to be here and establishing what we hope to be a long and prosperous relationship. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Julie, for being here and for allowing us to be a part.
Thank you so much. All right, let's get started with these beets. So the inspiration from this recipe came from a couple of places. One is from the garden itself. So the garden right now does have some winter vegetables like beets and greens. We wanted to highlight a seasonal vegetable. And we also wanted to highlight this because Minister Aaron's mother made holiday pickled beets. Is that right?
Yes, she did. And they were always a treat, and we looked forward to them always around the holiday. And it was wonderful just to smell them cooking and then finally get them on the plate. And so, and it's my relationship with beets has not changed since I was little. Still make sure I eat my fair share of beets and prepared various ways.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah, I like you said your relationship with beets. People have a troubled relationship with this vegetable. Some people love them and some people can't stand them. But
Mm-hmm.
I think pickling them gives them a good flavor. So we're going to try that today.
Mm-hmm.
So with your beet, you've got 2 parts. You've got the root and you've got the greens. And you can actually eat the greens and the stems. We're not going to eat them today, so I'm just going to take them off. But I'm going to save them and maybe saute them later with a little olive oil and garlic, some pepper. Now, normally, when I would get my beets, I'll take the stems off right away and store them separately. I didn't do that this time because I wanted to show you me taking them off. So they're a little wilted, but you can stop them from wilting if you take them off right away. So we've got our greens off, we've got our beetroot. And the first thing we want to do is wash our beetroot really thoroughly. So I'm going to run over to the sink and do that real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, so we rinsed them off, and I'm just going to take a clean towel and kind of rub them. You can do like a scrubby or a sponge. No soap. They don't need soap. Just water and friction. So I'm doing this because we're keeping the skins on. Now, you can do either one. You can keep the skins on or you can take them off. It's a matter of preference, but I like to keep the skins on because I like the extra fiber. The skins of our root vegetables like potatoes, carrots, they're almost always edible. And that fiber helps us stay regular. It also reduces our risk of heart disease. So if you don't mind the skins, keep them on. All right, so our beets are washed and scrubbed, and now we are going to chop them. So I'm going to cut off the purple tops where the greens were. And then I'm going to cut each beet in half. They're nice ones. Not too hard. All right. Putting each beet in half on a flat surface, and now we're going to cut them into little wedges, about ½ inch wide wedges. So just slice through them just like that. About 4 cuts per beet. Keep that guy. Cut off the little rooty ends. All right, so now we have our sliced beets in kind of like half moons. Let's see that. So the beet juice, you know, it's going to get all over you. It's going to get all over your cutting boards and your knives, but it comes off really easy with soap and water, so don't worry too much. All right, so we are going to put our beets into a saucepan, cover it with water, and bring it to a boil. So I didn't measure the water, but it's just enough water to cover, about maybe a ½ inch above the beets. So we're going to set this on the stove and let it boil. And that's going to boil for about 10 to 15 minutes. And you know, they're done when we can pierce them with a fork and fork goes through without a lot of resistance. Kind of like you're making mashed potatoes, same kind of doneness. So next we're going to make the brine. So to get our brine going, we have a lot of different spices, and we also have fresh garlic, we have apple cider vinegar, brown sugar, a little bit of sea salt, black peppercorns, yellow mustard seed, whole mustard seed, whoops, red pepper, and that's it. All right. So we'll get our smaller pot and we'll put our brine ingredients in here. So we're going to start with our fresh garlic. So to get the garlic out of the peel, take the knife, put it on the flat side, and just press with your hand. And look at that, the garlic comes off beautifully. Peel comes off. It's almost halfway chopped for us. Do the same with this one. There we go. Skins come off, and we're just going to chop our garlic. So grab your knife and then kind of do like a seesaw motion. So sticking the blade of it, the tiny point at the top, onto your cutting board. Hold on to your garlic. Chop it just like that. So now we have little pieces of diced garlic, and that's going to go in our brine. So garlic is also really good for you. Garlic is extremely good for the heart. It helps open our blood vessels. It helps keep blood flowing. A lot of people will eat more garlic, or you can take garlic supplements when they're worried about heart attack or stroke. But I like to eat it fresh and real because it's delicious. So the more the better. I like it a lot. I'm gonna put that in our brine. Now we're gonna add our seasonings. So we have a half a teaspoon of sea salt. It's not much. You know, if you were putting this on, you know, potatoes or something where you're eating the whole thing, it'd be a lot of salt. But this is going in a brine, and then that brine is soaking into the beet. So the amount of sodium that you're getting in each individual pickled beet is actually pretty low. The other thing that's really cool about beets is they're high in potassium. And potassium is like the other side of sodium. They're like a teeter-totter. So the more potassium-rich foods you eat, the better it is for the heart. So even if there's a little salt in with your potassium-rich foods, the more potassium will win out in the end, and it makes it a heart-healthy food. So don't be afraid to season your food a little bit. All right, we got a half teaspoon of salt. We have a half teaspoon of yellow mustard seeds. You don't have whole seeds, you could always use ground mustard. That's okay. It might just be a stronger flavor. So maybe a quarter teaspoon instead of a half. Unless you're super into mustard. Half a teaspoon of black peppercorns and it's a pinch of red pepper flakes. Okay. I'll do almost a half. I like spicy. And then we have a tablespoon of brown sugar. And 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar. You can use any vinegar. Apple cider vinegar has a nice flavor. Oh, I have just enough. Look at that. And we also need 1.5 cups of water. No, am I gonna have enough room? Yeah, good enough. All right, and we'll do the same thing. We'll bring this to a boil on the stove. All right, our beets are going, our brine is going. Does anyone have any questions so far?
Yes, hi, I have a question. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
With fresh garlic, does it have to be the garlic that's like you just used? Oftentimes I've used the garlic that's in the jar. And I guess it's in some type of liquid or something. But I'll use that because it's, you know, it's ready to go. I'm the type of person that I like, you know, the easier the better, especially when I'm preparing something, and the less steps, the better. You know, I'm more inclined to use it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for talking to you without my camera on.
Oh, you're okay.
But I was just curious, is there any major difference between the garlic that's in the jars? And I usually find that in the produce section, as opposed to the garlic that's, you just crack open yourself.
Sure. Yeah, so the main difference is going to be a little bit of preservative in that garlic in the jar to keep it fresher. Sometimes I feel like I can taste it. If I want a dish that's got a ton of garlic, like if I'm making like a really simple pasta dish or something, I like to use the fresh garlic. If I'm just mixing it into something like this, that's a brine or stew, I think the garlic in the jar is really nice and really easy. Yeah.
Okay. So no major difference between the two?
No.
Okay.
No. Health benefits and nutrition, it's about the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I feel you though on not peeling garlic. Sometimes I'll go to the international grocery and I'll get the big like peeled garlic in the jars. That's awesome. That makes me happy.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Brian. And we also have a question. What are the health benefits of apple cider vinegar? Okay, this is a great question. So this is a kind of a fad. Checking on my beets, they're good. This is kind of a fad right now. People think apple cider vinegar is really good for you, that it's going to help you maybe lose weight or fix some problem. Not really. There's not a lot of good evidence for that. It's an acid. It's a strong acid. Some apple cider vinegars have what's called the mother. So they're made more naturally, they're fermented. And the mother, actually, you can kind of see it in this one. See that bit of it's kind of like a residue. So that is usually a sign of like a natural vinegar that's been naturally fermented. That might have some probiotic properties. Probiotic is good bacteria that helps our digestion and might have other good health benefits too. Now, the question is, do we get health benefits from drinking the probiotics in the apple cider vinegar? That's the big question. We don't really know. Some studies say yes, some studies say no. I don't think you need to spend a ton of money on expensive apple cider vinegar. Just use whatever vinegar you like and it's in your budget. And my beets are boiling. I'm going to turn them down a bit. Well, we're waiting for our brine and our beets. Minister Aaron, do you want to talk a little more about Southside Family Farms, the mission, the purpose? What's your vision?
Yes, I would. I'd love to. And so Southside Family Farms has just kind of did a big expansion and a launch of its mission and purpose, that we're trying to increase our capacity to be able to provide fresh vegetables and access on the south side. And so we're located on the south side of Columbus on two city land bank properties on Wilson Avenue, and we're just north of Thurman Avenue. And so we've been there in those spaces for about going on this is our fourth growing season, with production and everything. But our mission, it started out to really give the seniors in our community a space where they could do what they used to do in growing, backyard gardening or farming, growing to eat and to put fresh vegetables on their table. And it was something that had drifted off. Fresh food access was not readily available. We have corner stores that, they don't carry any type of fresh vegetables. And we do have major grocery stores, but we're in a mid to low income community. And so there are challenges with transportation and that fresh food access. And then often some of the grocery stores do not carry the wider varieties because of shelf life and those things. And so, we've been having fun. That's the way I like to say it. We've been having fun learning ourselves and then also educating the youth and the families here in our community about these food systems, cooking in the garden, introducing them to some really interesting vegetables. And beets is one of those vegetables. I grew up with them, but you could ask a lot of people, you could show them a beet and they'd be clueless. But then there's a really interesting plant, kohlrabi. I had never had kohlrabi before, and it looks special, but
Alien. Yeah, it's got big
it
and
does.
green and big tubers.
Yes, and since we've started growing those in our garden and in our farm, it has become very popular amongst our residents. Lots of different ways to eat them. Some even eat them raw and in salads. But me and my wife like them roasted. And so we're trying to reintroduce to these communities of color that have not traditionally had some of the things that we're having or know how to prepare them. And so that is a very big mission. That's the first part of the mission. And so it's in relationships like we have with you in doing this wonderful cooking. And, you got that going back there on the stove. It's almost like I can smell it here. And, getting our community to learn the enjoyment of cooking, and then cooking healthy and not so much going to get fast foods, pizzas, snacks, things that's coming out of a box that you put in a microwave or put in, those prepared foods, but really getting them back to eating what they've grown. And so that's the biggest mission, is eating what they've grown and having that fresh food access.
I love it. I think that's so important. People,
Mhm,
we've gotten so far away from enjoying real foods, the taste of real
mhm,
foods, like you said, processed foods, packaged foods. It's cheap, it's convenient, but it's not helping us. It's hurting us. And
mhm,
it's hurting
mhm.
our communities. So I love what you're doing. I think your mission is amazing.
Mhm. And even like questions like that Mr. Costin had, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, about the garlic. And I was like him, because I do love garlic in my dishes. Sometimes I don't always want to have to do the chopping thing, but what I found, it's much more aromatic, I think is the word. It's much more fragrant and tasteful. And so what I found about the stuff in the jar, you lose something. And so I even had a question about that, is, I've seen they've got the variety, the mammoth garlic, and I wanted to get some feedback from you about that garlic. Do you find the taste or the flavor or the benefits of that garlic just the same as the smaller cloves?
I don't know if I've ever had mammoth garlic.
Yeah, yeah,
You'll have to grow
yeah,
it and we'll have to do a taste test maybe next
yeah,
fall, next spring. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but we just love what we're doing and the expansion of our goals and missions, and really trying to educate our community and be educated at the same time about the best ways to present to them that they can adapt to it. And so it's been good. Yes, it's been wonderful.
That is awesome. Thank you, Minister Aaron. All right, I'm going to check on these beets and see if they are done. Bring them
Mhm.
over. They are bubbling away. They look so good. Give them a little poke. Actually, yeah, I think they're good. They're a little firm, but I'm going to go with it. I think they are good to go. So, again, this is a taste preference. If you want to cook them longer, they'll be softer. If you like a little bit of a crunch, which I really do if I'm having like a pickle, I'm going to keep them a little crunchier. So these pickled beets can go on salads. They are really good like on sandwiches, or I sometimes eat them on the side. Like if you have like a cucumber pickle on the side of your sandwich, I got some pickled beets. They're good with cheese, little bread, little cheese, pickled beets. And lastly, just like as a snack, maybe with some cottage cheese or just munching them out of the jar. It's a nice thing to have around. So we're going to strain these and then we're going to put them into our jar. So I have a mason jar, very traditional. You can use any heat-proof, heat-safe container. You could use a glass Tupperware. You could even just put them in a bowl and put them in your fridge, as long as you had something to cover the top of the bowl. All right, got the beets here. Strain them out. There they are. It's very pretty. So a question I get a lot is, if you cook vegetables, boil them, roast them, are you losing nutrients? And that is a kind of a complicated question. So technically, yes. There are vitamins that are water soluble, meaning that when they come in contact with water, the vitamins go out, but not all of them go out. Most of them stay in. And I think that's a big barrier for people with veggies. It's like, oh, I have to eat vegetables. I have to eat raw, plain vegetables. Blech. You don't have to. You can cook them. You can roast them, grill them, boil them. They're still nutritious. It's still a good choice. Oh yeah, okay, I needed this big jar. I didn't think I would, but it's almost full up. So we have our beets in here. So another really cool benefit of beets. So beets are incredibly unique in the vegetable world. They have a lot of nitrogen, okay? And the nitrogen that's in the beets actually can be absorbed into our bodies really, really well. And that translates to more blood flow, more dilated blood vessels, and it actually translates to like good like sports and athletics. People have shown that if they eat beet juice like before a run, that they're faster, or maybe they can lift more weight. So if you are athletic or you're looking to be athletic, beets are like kind of a wonder food. They're really amazing. And I think we're seeing a lot of interesting research coming out about these health benefits of these beets. All right, let's see if our brine is about done. I think so. So the brine's been simmering for a little bit. Now, again, you got two choices. You can just pour it in and leave the whole spices, or you can strain it. It's up to you. I think I'm gonna strain it. We'll see. This is the part of the video where I burn myself on a live Zoom call. Hey, I did all right. Okay.
All right.
There we go. Yay. All right, no injuries. So our brine is in, our beets are cut,
Oh,
and
man.
you're done. You cap it, you put it in the fridge, and this is good to go. This will keep in your fridge about a month. And you can open it and close it back up again, as long as the beet brine stays above the beet. So that's helping preserve it and keep it from molding. So we also have, Minister Aaron, you have a GoFundMe campaign going on right now. Is that true?
Yes, that is true. We have an additional urban farm site that we've added to our family farms. And so it's in Johnstown, Ohio, and we have 2 acres that we're preparing to farm there. We've been leasing that property for a year now, but we have not begun to do production on there. And so we just got finished erecting 2 large high tunnels on that property where we can do extend our season and kind of control the climate more in the high tunnel. And so we're going to do a seedling operation there, and it's called Seedlings of Change, Plants for Progress, where we are going to be producing seedlings, vegetable seedlings and flower seedlings to bring sustainability to our total farm work. On that acreage, we're also going to be doing growing market crops also. But our GoFundMe campaign, we have about another 2 weeks left in our campaign. Maybe we can get the link put in the chat box. But
Absolutely.
people can also maybe seek us out on Southside Family Farms on Facebook. We are also on Instagram, but we've got a campaign going for $25,000. I did not get to check today, but I think the last time we checked, we were getting really close to $2,000 of our campaign. 2 weeks to go. We still believe that we can make our goal, and those funds are going to be to get our electricity, irrigation, and for seedling tables into those high tunnels that we want to hit the ground running, that we can begin to generate some revenue from seedlings even by this April. And so we're ready to do it, and we're not going to let the weather and the climate slow us down. We got work to do. We're anxious about those 230 by 96 foot long high tunnels, and we're getting ready to do some work. Yes.
I am excited about it too. This is awesome. So your average person could buy like seedlings to maybe grow tomatoes in their backyard, or maybe grow some other produce.
Yes, yeah, and so that component is going to be, that's one part of our expansion. We're also looking to have a farm stand right here in our community this year, that we can begin to source the things that we're growing in a farm stand, and yes, so we would be selling trays of seedlings, tomato, even the squash plants and pepper plants. But then also we're teaching youth, and that's part of our mission, is teaching them about pollinator flowers. pollinator flowers is something that's essential in our communities to start to replace the pollinator flowers to attract the bees, that the bees can do their work in nature and in production. Because without the bees, we don't get the flowers. Without the flowers, we don't get the fruit. And so bees are very important. And so we're also growing some, maybe do some annuals, but yes, they would be able to purchase those. But in our GoFundMe, we're looking anywhere. We'd be appreciative of anything that people can donate from $20 to $50, and we will make our goal. Our young people, so we've got some grandchildren that's going to help us out with TikTok, and so our we're looking to see our advertisements out there, and just to get the noise out. And we've got a view website. Oh my goodness. um, uh, Also seeing we've got a new website that's out there that kind of documents a lot of the work that's
Beautiful.
going
Yeah, the
on.
website's gorgeous.
Yeah, but it is very much a Southside family farm. It is about family and community, and very much about our faith. We are members of Family Missionary Baptist Church here in the community, and that's where our work first started. And so we're really trying to bring these things home to our families. And I got a bunch of grandkids that help me out, and they're doing a wonderful job. And so please share about the work we're doing and our GoFundMe campaign on your social media sites. And we thank you for, even for the ones that are on and that will view this video. Thank you for your support, just even in viewing and being a part of.
Agreed. Thanks everybody so much. I hope that you enjoyed cooking alongside. If you didn't get to cook alongside, maybe it'll inspire you to grab some beets for Christmas. Look how pretty they are. I mean, you could serve those at Christmas, a little appetizer. It would be so pretty, so Christmassy. Are there any final questions for me or Minister Aaron about food, about the farm?
I've got one other question that you kind of addressed it you addressed it earlier when you were putting that sea salt in there. I had that question about why sea salt as opposed to regular salt. Um, and you were kind of telling some things about the sodium, but just as a dietary and the healthy benefits, why sea salt as compared to regular iodized salt that we get in the grocery store?
Yeah, no, great question. To be perfectly honest with you, I have this sea salt because I like to do pickling, and I think the sea salt tastes really nice in a pickle. And iodized salt doesn't always make a good pickle. However, sea salt, regular iodized salt, kosher salt, they're all about equal in sodium content. So you're not really doing anything by like switching to like a fancier salt, more expensive salt. It's more just about taste. But iodine is an essential nutrient. And iodized salt is about the only place that we get iodine in our diets. Some areas of the world have more iodine like in their water. We don't. So it's really important for us to get iodine either from sea salt or iodized salt. It doesn't really matter which one you buy.
Okay. Yeah, I know, it's been a thing that's kind of been highly in our community. Even I've seen Himalayan pink sea salt, and so I have used it, and I just like the flavor of it, and I didn't know if there were any real dietary things that we could just pass along to our community, or is it just really a taste preference? But
I think it's just a taste preference. Yeah, but like flavored salt can be a fun way to give some flavor to food. No, of course you don't want to use too much because too much salt can cause high blood pressure. But some fun things you can do with salt. You can shred like lemon zest or orange zest into your salt, and it like makes like an orangey, salty, yummy thing that makes it really delicious. You can buy like smoked salt. You can do lots of different things. But then of course, just using spices. I mean, remembering that there's a whole world of spices out there too that are salt-free that won't raise your blood pressure. So, like today we use mustard seed. These are so cool. You could put these in a lot of different dishes and they just add like a crunch and a pop. So I like to use these a lot.
Okay.
And let's see, we have a question. Nancy wants to know where we can find today's recipe. So the recipe will be up on social media, and yeah, it'll be up on the website. We'll put it up on the website. I can also, if you want to send me an email, I'm happy to email it to you. It's julie@dietitianinyourkitchen.com. And yeah, any other questions? Mr. Aaron, do you have anything else you would like to share with us before we go?
No, Miss Julie, we just want to thank you for just being a part and being the dietitian in the kitchen. And, that I'm telling you, seems like I could smell that from here. That looks so wonderful. But we just thank you. Please see us on Southside Family Farms on Facebook, and even follow the link to our GoFundMe. But we appreciate you just being on today, and kind of stay tuned, because there's definitely more to come with Southside Family Farms and Dietitian in the Kitchen, Miss Julie Palmer. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.